Happy Valentine's Day.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm here with my favorite Valentines each and every day. Always very nice to, share a show with my loved ones.
Mike, won't you be mine? Be mine, Valentine.
You love love.
You does love love.
Did you guys get the candied giant sweet tarts that I sent both of you yesterday?
Oh.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I didn't
Yeah.
see anything.
Wonderful. Welcome to the show.
I got a heart-shaped loaf of rye bread from Mike.
Before we get into the bitch session today, let me offer this. The on my docket for the better part of 2 weeks now has been this: how to make Valentine's Day better. So as I said to the guys before the show today, I said, you make Valentine's Day better. How do we do it? And I offered no ideas. I simply put the theme. I simply feel as a guy that it can be better. Hey guys, listen up.
Do you think one of the problems with VD is that it falls on a mathematical date, February 14th, as opposed to, like, say, the second Saturday in February?
No.
Because it makes it
No.
tough to celebrate within a week, maybe? Is
Nope.
that a problem?
What do you mean makes it tough?
I mean, like for example, Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday. They make sure of that so that you have that Thursday to look forward to. What if Valentine's Day was always on a Saturday?
Okay, I think I can frame this. Yeah, go ahead. All right, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
I think it's. Look, I've been married for a decade. I looked at my wife. I gave her no, not married. I've known my wife for a decade. Married for 6.
Oh,
7.
Mike's giving the slow clap.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I gave
give
her
the
a
Rudy
quick
clap.
smooch. I said Happy Valentine's
Yep.
Day, and she said, I said, all right. And then that's it.
Yeah.
It's over. I think it's a level of, like, when we were dating, my wife and I, for the first 3 years, you best believe I was going all out. Then we got
it's
married.
really not. It's not a
and then
married
it
guy's
stopped.
It's not a married guy's holiday.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
a matter of
hold on.
how high your tea is.
Hold on.
And how
I am not
you put,
saying
how much
that-
you put the V on the pedestal. You know what I mean?
It depends on your particular relationship. I get that. I understand. Rob and Carrie have never celebrated the holiday.
No, we don't do it.
Well, they're not in love.
Thank you.
My
But what
point-
about when we did? Think back.
Did you ever?
I've bought her roses. I've bought her chocolates. But you know what? Coming back, that might have been pre-marriage or
Was that in
early
World War
time.
II? Was that?
It was. I
And
got her
nylons,
nylons.
too? And a
Yeah,
Hershey
I did.
bar.
Well, Mike,
That's
we have been married. We have been married a long time.
Yeah,
like
that's when
to
you're
say that.
when we're all
Yeah.
recording our wives.
Yeah, and so
I'm
mean,
sure, like the ladies in our audience, God bless you. I'm sure there are things you do with your husband that you just don't do anymore. This system doesn't go both ways.
like a favor. Yeah, everyone likes when someone does them an unexpected favor. It's nice.
I have not been able to get to the. We're all commenting on Valentine's Day, but I'm saying, how about this? No. How about this? How about you do something to make, and I'm talking men and women, you do something to make the holiday more exciting. You do something to make it more fun. You come up with a tradition that makes it something that where it's the single best thing. Now, I'll give you an example of my Valentine's Day. We celebrated because we have bowling tonight.
That's romantic.
That's so great.
It's a Crampton's
Jesus
house.
Christ.
Well,
I'll tell you something.
she loves it. She got
I'm
us
gonna
into
tell you
it.
something.
Listen, Norton, we're going bowling.
We're going,
but
no,
we ain't going bowling.
If I said I don't want to go bowling, that would ruin her Valentine's Day.
That's why you're the
That's your
best
gift?
husband in the world.
You're just gonna do the same thing. That's your gift.
yeah,
I could take it or leave it. She's the bowler. I want to make that real clear.
it's
This is
the
not
gift
we're-
of structure.
We are not bowling because of me. Yesterday,
Yes.
I went to the grocery store, selected all the ingredients, produced an Garten feast for my bride of beef bourguignon.
Your favorite?
I cooked all afternoon. Not really. It's a 30-minute prep time, but seems more. About an hour and a half. Total time expenditure about 2 hours. So that was
the prep time is much less than the actual cook time, right?
The prep time is less than the cook time. But getting the ingredients, like all recipes, I find that you start out and it seems like it's simple, and then it becomes a bit of a slog. You know, when you're adding thyme leaves, my least favorite herb, because you have to pick them off the little string.
Who has the
time to cook? So I'm saying if you had, can you think of a holiday that was a nothing holiday and then it became, I'll give you an example, Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
When did that become the drinkery day for everybody? And they try like hell to make it the
when
the
Corona.
day.
Yeah, Corona appropriated it as their own holiday.
What if you came up with a hook, a la the Christmas tree, or where it was something that people could get? Is it possible to rewrite this holiday to make it where it's not just a card company, chocolate company, merchandising opportunity, and something people could really get excited about?
It's challenged because of its proximity to Christmas and New Year's. It's very close.
No,
and
it's
I don't know
not.
that
It's
people.
What are you talking about?
What are you? You're just making things.
He
up.
opens
No,
his
it's a
mouth.
month.
How is
just
that
to
no,
2
speak.
months?
No. Listen.
Proximity
it's a month. People
to
have their
Christmas, 2 months away?
people often keep their trees up until Epiphany, which is January 8th. So it's a month away.
Now you're going to bring out the big Catholic stuff, the Epiphany.
Oh yeah, because I'm such a devout Catholic.
No, you're just.
I'm just
trying to
talking
make it sound,
traditions.
No, what you're doing is trying to make it sound more authoritative.
I'm speaking nothing but facts. People, if they keep their tree up until the first part of January, then it's 5 weeks away. And that's pretty close.
Well, let's
the entire
take the
Christmas
date out.
season is 5
You're
weeks away.
not going to be able to change the date, so you can't.
Okay, all right.
You're not giving me solutions. You're giving me problems. That why it's not, and because you don't celebrate the holiday. I'm saying, is there anything we could do to make it? And here we go.
Well, you can't do a tree.
Hold
That's
on,
what
hold
I was
it,
saying.
hold it, hold it. God, quiet time. I want to say this. If you are a guy, what could we do to make the guys equal partners in getting excited about that particular holiday? Or is it something where we don't even want to bother?
You know what? I just realized this. While you guys were yelling at each other about dates and being cheap, I was ordering roses for my wife just to, it's 2 buttons right on my phone. Done.
Right.
And as I was about to say check out, I realized there's nobody at work today because we had a late production yesterday. So the whole point of roses is to make your friends jealous.
Exactly.
So why would I order them?
The whole point of roses is to send them to your significant other and make them happy, make them smile.
No, but they get happy. They're like some sort of magnet that is re-energized by jealousy.
Yeah,
women.
Oscar's right.
So,
when you have
like-
roses on your desk and
at
people
work.
come in and see roses on the desk at work. Yeah.
At work, right?
Very
so
important.
if I'm going to send them to an empty office,
Sorry for my lack of perspective, says the man who hasn't been in an office since 1978.
if I send them to an empty office which is empty this morning till 12 noon,
Right.
I should schedule them till 2 when there are going to be
so
other
the
people
production
here.
where they come in and make the big
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
But getting back to my original
Never mind.
thing,
Thank you.
I want to make it better. I want to make it more. Is there?
There's
anything
no
we can
way
do?
to make it better.
I don't think you can.
It was better when we were viral. Well, you are still. God bless you. When
Talking
we
to
were
me?
courting and dating. Yeah, you can still have a baby right now. That Omera, those swimmers are like,
Well,
wow, I almost went for you for a donation.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's.
Hey, thanks.
I look. Modern medicine has taken.
You don't want a baby alcoholic with no hair? Why not?
That's not no. $164? No effing way.
So this is the way I would like to make it better. I would like to just have some hook. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just one particular hook that would make it better for people in any way. And I don't know. Maybe I don't know because it's not possible.
Well, look back to all other holidays that have hooks, and let's discuss what they are very quickly. For example, Christmas has a tree. New Year's has the celebration at midnight. Halloween has costumes. What's left? What could we hook up with Valentine's Day. It should have to do with love somehow.
Ball gag.
St. Patrick's Day has alcoholism.
Yeah. So many holidays have
Handcuffs.
Green beer.
that, though. How about red beer?
I
Okay.
thought Christmas had Jesus.
Thank you, Oscar. And you know what? Someone had to say it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Rob, how about this?
Yeah.
What about this? Because it is somewhat related. What if we made Valentine's Day food related?
In New Orleans, they have that cake that the Oni's in. I don't know what it's called.
The
What's it
king
called?
cake.
The king cake. Thank
Has a plastic baby in it.
you. We could steal a page that clearly is working for them.
But that's Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but we could put a condom or some sort of morning after pill in our cake.
We're okay. That's it. It's officially over. This discussion is now over. We're going to move on. It was never a good idea. I blame myself. I never should have done it in the first place. It was a condom cake.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That sounds great. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. For me, I provided food. Carla indicated that there might be something coming to the house today for me. I haven't had a material possession in a very long time.
Yeah.
I've been on a spending freeze for myself, which accounts for me wearing a sweatshirt from a place that might very well be underwater now. I'm not sure, but this was down near, it's Fort
We
Myers
can't see
Beach.
it. What does it say?
Salty Sam's, Fort Myers Beach.
Oh, that's a
okay.
collector's item now.
Yeah, but I think they rebuilt, I think. I'm
They
not
all
sure.
rebuilt, I hope.
We were on Sanibel over the weekend, and it was mind-boggling how much progress they made. Who knows? It's interesting. Let me move on to another subject here. There was an interesting thread that was featured on the Book of Faces that concerned our discussion about crime. And people thought I was being attacked. I didn't really think I was being attacked, except for people saying, when I hear Mike get that tone, I move forward. When we were talking about crime, I was saying that
What's the tone?
I made the statement, probably in error statistically, that it's as bad as it's been in D.C. That's probably not accurate. It's probably been worse in D.C. years and years and years and years ago, but I don't know. The fact is that from what I read, from what I see on the news, there have been many, many, many occurrences in New York City, in Chicago, in Washington, D.C., in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, of crime.
These are facts.
Serious crimes being committed. I offer this in general terms, and I should probably make that very clear. I don't believe that what I say about crime is either absolutely 100% certain or that people that say it's a Republican talking point are 100% correct in that either. I believe, like so many things in this wonderful world of ours, there is a gray area. I have based a lot of my talking about crime in D.C. from this guy right here who lives in the District of
Spy
Columbia
report.
and talks
Spy
about
report.
people jumping on his car, talks about the guy shot down the street, talks about the person running away from the scene of an accident. And would I be incorrect in saying you've lived in D.C. for quite some time, and
over a
I'm not
decade.
really aware that you used to come in on a regular basis, which you do now,
No.
talking about stuff that's happened in the district?
Yeah, this is what most people don't know. Is I don't talk about everything that happens on the air because you just don't. And some things
Right.
are for air and some things are not.
Yeah.
One big reason why we left our old location was, and this has never, ever been discussed, ever, outside the confines of, a select few. A big reason and what precipitated our move downtown was the original, the Glover Park podcast village, the fourth floor where the studios were broken into and robbed.
That is
And-
a significant, crime in that, you're not kicking in a door to somebody's living room. You are going into an office building
Yes.
4 floors up.
With
Yes.
double security, because there
Yes.
was security at the absolute front door of the building and then a lock on the door for Podville.
Yes.
And there was
Where was the security at the front of it? Because I used to come
It
in
was
a
a-
side
a
door.
A security door.
the security door at the front.
Security
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not a person.
Not
Not
a
a
person,
guard.
but it was locked. And then
Wow.
it was so horrifying to watch the surveillance.
Let me get to that.
Please,
before
please,
you
Oscar.
get
Thank
to
you.
that.
Thank you, Oscar.
So, I wake up. I have all these notifications on my phone. Last time I'll ever silence my phone between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. That's when it usually goes into do not disturb mode automatically. Or it did. And I'm like, what the F is going on? And I pop open the security cams and I see these kids, teenagers, like 5 of them, rifling through, like breaking in and then walking through and rifling through. And, the damage could have been greater. They stole a handful of laptops, a handful of tools, like just drills, etc., that we had because we were building out a third studio at that point. A handful of like personal effects.
I have a question.
I think yes.
Did you're talking about stuff that would, if you add it up, it would be a significant
Felony.
amount. So did they have
Absolutely.
like big duffel
Yeah.
bags that they were shoving everything into? Is that what they were doing?
No, it
I
was
think they
they
just
were
carried
backpacks,
it, right?
They're
Yeah.
backpacks, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a crime of opportunity. I'm assuming we used to have an escape room in the building that a crew was in for an escape room, and then someone realized that we had like a glass window and a door that you could actually see into the lobby, that something was happening in there, and then they were in and out, and it was heartbreaking. And the level of not just violation, but just like from our old landlord of I don't give an F.
Yeah.
Like, hey, figure it out with your insurance. Was like, all right, time to go.
Yeah. Thanks, Vampira.
Yes.
That was our old landlord.
And
Mike, the saddest
So when-
thing is
when
on the surveillance video, I watched one of these kids go into the fridge and eat my Uncrustable and then leave the wrapper on the floor. And that is a total
True
lack
story.
of respect. 100%.
like
How long ago
eating,
did this happen?
3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. So when you talk about crime in the city, I get that it's being weaponized and politicized. I'm living here. We're doing business here. We will continue to do business here. I never went public with that information simply because it wasn't relevant to, and frankly, once you get broken into the first time, it probably happens again, right? Unless you have a certain level of security that's beefed up, etc. It can happen anywhere, but that was tough to get over, and you keep moving, and you rebuild, and then you file a police report, nothing ever happens. That's all it is.
What
You
I
move on
liken
with
it to, Mike, when you talk about statistics, how many times have you seen a nervous flyer on an airplane and everyone will tell them, you're 10 times safer in a plane than you are in a car? Statistics bear this out.
Yeah.
But you're still going to find a nervous flyer because you're in that situation. And when you see the situation of carjackings and the stuff that Oscar's been through around his house, stuff that we've seen in our place of work, you can throw all the statistics at me that you want, but I've seen it happen, and it's horrifying.
And you're also parsing words. The greatest aspect is, I guess, the greatest sticking point for me is not just how I feel, but I believe in statistics. That they guide businesses, they guide decision making.
Right.
They're not they're typically not wrong. That's why they're stats, they're numbers, and the numbers for the past. Let's just take the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, this city has become more dangerous. You feel it, you live it, you hear enough stories. Yesterday, we had some clients come through where they, for one reason or another, thought our garage was closed. It wasn't, but they basically asked me to escort them to the garage around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever has asked me to escort anybody anywhere, but I felt great about it. I'm happy they asked. I just wasn't thinking along those lines. If they feel unsafe,
And it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
feeling.
glad you mentioned
You're right,
feeling,
Mike. Yeah.
Because you're talking about something that has a feel. Also, it is completely reasonable for certain people to argue that these statistics are, I don't want to use the word overblown, but they are used for political gain. Of course they are. But at the same time, when you got somebody who lives here and you got people that have, experienced it, I think when you're talking about a disease like cancer, you probably have somebody that you have bumped into in some way. That disease has probably impacted you, or a friend of yours, or someone somehow. Crime, not so much the case. You don't have everybody that's been touched by a crime.
Okay, but can I give you another just quick lens on this?
Let me finish the point.
Okay, please.
The point is that when you're a victim of it, you have a different perspective as well. And the point I'm trying to make is that when someone breaks into a building and it's your building, or someone pulls a knife on you, as a knife was pulled on me, it gets personal. And it's a personal situation. It's probably why I'm a little more law and order.
Like Bruce Wayne.
And I think that it was scary, Oscar. It was scary. I'm not making light of it. I was 13 years old, and I was scared out of my mind. But I get all the guys down here, and you know the perspective politically that I get down here, that love to talk about this and this and this, because that's easy. And that's easy because it's them. It's they. It's those people. That's why you get people that have probably never even been near it that talk like that. It's gray, folks. There's a big giant gulf that's gray. There's no this is it or this is it.
There's the voice. Yeah. That's it. That's what they were talking about online.
The tone?
Yeah, we're like when he starts preaching about people loving each other and taking care of each other.
Thank you for
There's
pointing
some people
out.
There's some people that truly hate that.
I love it.
But people hate it. There are people that hate it.
The slim majority.
I fast forward through that because I have no compassion in my body whatsoever.
Mike, you know who hates the tone? They do. Those people.
This is what's also going to blow your... And I bet the both of you don't even know about this story.
What's that?
There is a Walgreens downtown in Gallery Place right next to what is now the Capital One Arena.
Mm-hmm.
That has been robbed, I think, a sub 10 times higher than 6, right? Just so many effing times. I might have the number wrong. I think the number was 7.
Okay.
It's been robbed 7 times, Mike. 7 times in the last 365 days. They caught the guy because he broke in and was shot by a special police officer that they brought into the Walgreens. Don't say another word. And then they looked at him and figured out that his prints were in the store in past robberies with the help of the FBI. And then they realized that he was friends with one of the employees at the Walgreens. So it was an inside job 7 to 9 times over. And they finally caught the guys. So crime is up, but sometimes it's not because of socioeconomic. It's not because of, it's a crime of passion or opportunity. It's just calculated. And people use also this veil of like the city being more dangerous to take advantage of it.
All right, let me just ask this question of both of you.
Yes.
And I do not have a file of statistics. I don't do that kind of talk radio, and I don't. I try to perceive what I read and what I see in the news from whatever source I'm getting and give it to you like I would a person on the street. That's the way I do it. Mm-hmm. I have had a sense for a very long time, and I'm not using any stats here, that we live in a world where slowly but surely the haves are getting more and the have-nots are getting less. And the gulf is increasing. You're seeing more homeless people, in my opinion. I don't have statistics on it. It seems to me that there are more and more people that are having a little tougher time, and there are a smaller group of people that seem to be, moving in that direction. That's not to say in a capitalist society that's the way it works. You work hard. You happen to put your money in the right place. That's the way it works. But I get a sense that more people in more areas are having desperate times, and when you have that, you get crime.
Can I
Is
say
that
something?
reasonable? Yeah, go ahead, Mac.
About this.
Hi, Mac.
So, hi there. So, I actually saw, like, right after this conversation we last had, like that night I saw a news story about a very similar subject. Now, this is nationwide and not in D.C., but, like, they did a poll of, do people think crime is rising? And it's like 70% say yes, crime is definitely rising. But crime has fallen in the last year by like 8 to 20% in different areas across the country. Now, that doesn't mean every city is the same thing. Some cities can be more, some less.
Okay.
But I pulled it up here, and it's 8% drop in violent crime and 6.3% less property crime, which is the lowest it's been since 1961.
So thank you. I thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that. This is good for our national audience.
And I get it. I think that's interesting.
And this is not an original thought. This actually comes from The Right Time with Bomani Jones, when Foxworth and Bomani were on the show. And they were having a separate conversation, but trying to lay out, like, what shocks you in New York City, what shocks you in Vegas, and what shocks you in D.C. And they were saying that, like, when both of them lived in New York City at one point, seeing someone homeless on a train in New York is like commonplace. Right. No big deal. You have to do a lot in New York City to really shock someone's psyche to be like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that's happening.
Right.
In Las Vegas, because it's it's the Sin City, same situation. In DC is, as Dominique said, he's in New York on a regular basis. He used to see a gentleman doing pull-ups with the shirt off with a watermelon on his head, speaking Bible verses. Like, he never really thought twice about it because it's New York City on his walk to work.
Okay.
If he saw that in D.C., you're like, whoa, what's going on with the city? What's happening here, right? Like, is there some sort of, like, is everybody okay?
So it's perspective.
It's perspective.
And also it goes back to what Mike said earlier. It's feelings. You can feel threatened. You can feel like things are bad right around you, regardless
for the
of
first
statistics.
time came to me completely separate from my own, because I don't like to panic my wife, and she doesn't really watch the news, so I'm not like, hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? I don't need that in my life. We got enough on our plate. She's like, I think I'm going to look into a concealed carry in D.C. And I said, why would you want to do that, knowing that I very well had already? She said, I just don't feel safe. I don't feel safe anymore.
Feeling. Again, feel.
And I said, why? He goes, I heard the ladies upstairs talking about someone getting shot up the street, and now someone just got robbed down the street, all these carjackings. Like, if you have my wife who wants nothing to do with any of this, and she's not like, NRA lady saying, I wonder if I should look into getting a concealed carry.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Now, how about this? And I believe me, I think it's all gray.
By the way, I told her no because she can barely hold on to a water bottle without dropping it. She'll kill us all.
Good call.
Yeah.
I said, you're
more
not
likely
you're not
to
made
put,
for that.
more likely
Yeah.
to statistically to put, now that statistic
said,
I know,
you drop
more
your
likely
phone
to put one between your eyes than
I said,
get the bad guy.
I said, you drop your phone way too many times for anybody to trust you with any
Good
type
call.
of
She
firearm.
loses her headphones, she's going to lose her gun.
Feelings, getting back to the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, now I'm flipping onto the other side. I'm wondering, my feeling is I develop these feelings by people I talk to down here. Maybe talking points. I develop my feelings by listening to Oscar, who lives in the city, but who might, statistically, I can understand that you'd want to ramp up the statistics that say crime is bad if you're trying to pursue a political agenda.
Yes.
So I get that.
Which
I
am
understand
not.
that. No, you're not, because you live there. But at the same time,
I just started voting 8 years ago.
But think about me. I get my information from you, and I get my information from seeing things online and all of that. And I get a feeling as well. So the people that get on a thread and throw statistics out, I get that as well. I understand how they might say that. I understand how they might say it's a talking point. But I don't know for sure. And I think that when you're talking about having a neighbor be a victim of a home invasion, certainly dramatically changes your perspective.
Yeah.
If you're living in a city where, as Oscar just mentioned, around the block, somebody gets broken into. Let me ask you, you are in a suburb of Washington, Rob Spiewak.
Yes.
What's the vibe out there? Because it does reach out to the burbs.
You know, I was talking earlier this week about how I like to get on the Neighbor Next Door app and mess with people, but I do read it. And we had a series of car break-ins, 6 or 7 of them, about 100 yards from my house last week.
Yeah.
Carrie is not a big car locker. And I had to tell her, I said, a lot of times in the summertime, I'll go out and she'll still have her windows cracked. She says, because I don't want the car to get hot. I said, yeah, you don't want the car to get stolen.
True.
Roll up your windows.
That's
Crime,
the best way to get it stolen is to leave it unlocked.
Yeah, leave it unlocked. And Oscar talked about, crimes of opportunity.
Let's continue
It
this.
happens.
We'll skip the round
Please.
table in the
Yeah.
next segment,
We'll
and
postpone it, yeah.
we'll push that along. I want to continue this discussion a little bit about it because everybody's affected by it to a degree, and everybody has opinions on it, and we are a divided nation, and I think it's important to talk about this without, and I don't believe we have been pursuing any agenda at all, even with my
No.
tone. Even with my tone,
Oh,
which
the
that
tone.
guy doesn't like. Bite me. Oh, no.
Oh, for
Oh,
tone.
dear. What happened? I just lost everything. My fingers were flailing around. Oh, I got it back. That's good. All right. I'm a professional. This podcast, I don't have a tone here. Proudly sponsored by, yes, I am sensitive. I cop to it. Sponsored by Naked Wines. Not only does the guy say when Mike has that tone, and then Oscar says, there's that tone again, and then they don't tell me anything, I'm feeling really small today because my face is falling off. Now let's get to the commercial. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Naked Wines. I want to thank people. Folks, when you buy something and you share it, it does the show
Yes.
good, and it really, really helps our cause. And for the gentleman that posted about his purchase of Naked Wines, I hope you enjoy every bottle that comes to your home. Naked Wines, if you don't know, is a subscription service that links you directly to the world's best independent winemakers. You can enjoy a case of top-quality wines at a fraction of the store price, up to 60% off, by connecting winemakers to wine enthusiasts like you. Naked Wines cuts out middlemen and saves you money. I love that you can answer a few questions when you order, and they will instantly match you with a perfect pour for your taste. The cabs I got were extraordinary, and in the off chance you don't like a bottle, they'll give you a credit so you can find one you love. Naked Wine sure is fine. So head to nakedwines.com/TMOS and click Enter Voucher in the top right when you get the website. And then enter the TMOS for both the code and the password. That's how you do it for this particular website. You get 6 bottles of wine, just $39.99, shipping included. That's $100 off and less than $7 per bottle. Nakedwines.com/TMOS and use the code and password TMOS to grab 6 bottles for just $39.99. Nakedwines.com/TMOS, code and password TMOS for $100 off your first 6 bottles. Cheers to you. We're in the middle of a discussion about crime in America, and when I listen to everybody's perspective and I'm hearing you all talk, I say to myself, because I do have an open mind and I wish everybody did, I'm like, maybe I am overly influenced by talking points. And I get it. At the same time, I will give a great example, and this is not crime, but it is the homeless population. And I'm playing golf about 2 years ago with a buddy of mine mentioning that I'm going to be traveling out to the Pacific Northwest. And this guy who's, as right can be says, oh, my God, wait till you see Seattle. Oh, wait till you see Seattle. And I'm saying to myself, of course, he's going to say that. Homeless people, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. I get out to Seattle. Sorry, gang. Sorry, people on the left. It was amazing to see very little open space in the middle of a city that was not covered by blue tarps and people that were in bad straits living on the street.
Tent cities.
So what is that? That's called a gray area. Do we agree on how you deal with that? No, we don't. I think people need a hand up. I think people need to be lifted up. But at the same time, this guy was not overstating what I saw. So
Well,
this
I
is
thought
somebody
those were the Occupy Wall Street guys.
No, this was a general. Yeah, exactly. That was a general homeless population that was really, really frustrating to me. That I'm looking at this, and it's the same with crime. Everybody, don't you believe that everything is not necessarily a political agenda? That you have to take it case by case.
Yeah, and
right?
also you have to be human about it. I hate anytime someone takes any sort of issue, and in this one is when people are homeless or unhomed. It's
unhoused. Yes,
it is a sad.
That's the term.
Thank you, Oscar. It is a sad comment to society that we've let it happen. And then, as soon as they assign the phrase "talking point" to it, that's what I hate, because then it becomes less about people and more about me versus you. And talking point that's just one that really grinds my gears, because if you say, "Well, I have this homeless talking point," you're not realizing that these are human beings out there that are trying to do their best.
And it's tough to solve.
And there are the services that were once available, and especially in infrastructure for a city where, unfortunately at this point we're still having issues bringing people back to the city. Mm-hmm. The access to technology that serves everybody on this panel with virtual visits to mental therapists or mental health. Like if you would go into a clinic and that was populated by DC residents or employees that were coming into the office, that probably has a lot to do with why people and the propensity for them to end up unhoused and in a space like that. It's a lot has changed within the infrastructure of even just serving its community.
And let me give you the perspective of the homeless, and we kind of dovetailed into the homeless discussion
I feel like
here.
homeless in the city is different than homeless in and I could be wrong, in like a Fort Myers area.
You are wrong. I will tell you that there's an encampment less than a mile from where I live, where everybody was up in arms, and they had a plot of land that they, it was controversial because there were tent city. It was a little tent city that they set up there. Here's the way I always it's always gray areas. It's always gray areas because I'm someone who quite often will see somebody on the street that's panhandling at a street corner, and I'll roll down the window, I'll do it. And then I'll see the same person, and I won't for a week or two, where I'm just sitting there and I got somewhere to be, or I'm frustrated. And I've always had this perspective. How bad does it have to be? And for somebody that might say, oh, there's somebody, why don't they go get a job like normal people? How bad do you think it needs to be? Your addiction, your socioeconomic status, your situation in life, what obstacles have been thrown in front of you. How bad does it have to be to throw your pride out so totally that you stand on that street corner? That's the way I always feel when I see a person that's doing that. I don't care what the circumstances. Are there scammers? Oh, my God, we've all heard the stories, and certain people love to tell those stories. This person got into a Mercedes around the corner. I know that. That's the human condition.
How are they going to pay the lease?
That's right. They probably went over on miles. Check their tread.
Don't people love to say that? Hey, I saw, because they're all lying. They're all scams.
One Dateline.
Some people feel guilt when they see this. Some people feel anger. Some people don't like to feel compassion. It makes them pissed off.
And most people don't. They're probably SOL anyways because nobody uses cash anymore.
Well, tell me about it. What they need is the triangle thing for their fun.
I got a lady on the corner.
Square.
I see them almost every day of the week, and the sign says, "Please help, my husband has cancer." That's the sign.
Yeah.
I am not kidding you. I went to another intersection, different person, same sign. I don't know if it was the exact same sign, but
maybe they were a couple.
It could have been. It could have been.
Like Mormons.
Polygamy.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what point I'm trying to make here other than the pigeonhole. The thing is you can't.
You don't know.
You can't paint with the broad brush in anything,
no.
There's maybe crime isn't as bad in the district, Oscar.
Oh, no, I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Why? Statistics say that it is.
Well, I agree. It's
not.
It's worse. Crime
in
is
DC,
worse.
In DC, it is worse.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially
in DC it is
carjacking.
worse.
And
Well, you were
statistics
the
tell
one,
you.
Mr. Talking out of both sides of his mouth, that
I
brought
said
the
US was
national
better.
crime thing when I was
US.
talking about it.
U.S.
National's
US,
different.
US.
Everybody's
In DC,
against me. I'm not paranoid.
In DC, statistically, it's up year over year. If you take the
Year over year.
in the last 5 years.
What about the
also.
91 that somebody wanted to throw out there?
There was a crack epidemic. I'm sure it's
Okay.
not as bad as that.
All
But
right.
you know what? In 91, cell phones weren't as prolific. Camera technology wasn't as prolific. Like Ubers weren't around. Like so many things were different in 91. You want to take both sides of that equation.
Oscar, I have a question for you
Yes.
as a resident before we get to how to fix it,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we're going to solve, which is going to be great. Oscar,
Thank you.
isn't there a sort of a movement that are trying to reclassify what is a carjacking to sway the statistics?
Yes.
And also, and how does
Sway
that
in which direction?
to make more violent crimes classified as carjackings, which would drive the statistics up?
Yeah, to lower the threshold of a felony and violent crime,
All right.
there is a bill in place that will hopefully deter.
In the
and
effort
I think
of
that,
deterrence.
I,
Right.
I
Okay,
think that's
I
deterrent.
wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I knew
Okay.
what you were
Because
talking about.
I don't know. I maybe I should care more, but when I hear the Chanel store in City Place was robbed for over $200,000 of handbags, it doesn't really bother me. I'm like, that's what it costs of doing business. But then, as a business owner who had his business robbed as a startup, I don't know how I feel. Like someone could tell me, be like, that's the cost of doing business in the city, right? That's what it is. So I see both sides. When people are killed or shot, this isn't socioeconomic and just race. We live in a different society in psychology. There's a tech entrepreneur, 41 years old, was leaving the opening of a Highline, establishment, watering hole in DC. This just happened 5 days ago. Took him off life support this past weekend. I just read it in the trades that this obituary, and I'm like, 41? What the hell happened? He was leaving the bar apparently. Race aside, a typical guy that they're looking for now that looks like Rob's kid. Got into altercation with this guy, and then
You got to give me a little bit of perspective when you're talking about the guy that was shot. Looks like Rob's kid.
wasn't shot. It was a fight.
Oh, okay.
The guy looks like Rob's kid that allegedly attacked the
Yeah,
other
the
guy.
Attacked
opponent.
the other guy.
The
Okay.
opponent,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
And he fell to the ground and hit his head on the concrete, fell into a coma, it looks like, and passed away.
Could happen.
It could happen anywhere,
Sure.
Anywhere.
right? But that's one of many things.
And Robert has a solid alibi, just so you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But for me, we've had the internet forever. We've had social media for the past 20 years now. This isn't just like, hey, we're reading about this more in social media. It's happening.
yeah.
The crime is
happening.
real.
It is real, and it is happening.
But Michael McIntosh told us nationally the statistics are down overall.
In the city of Washington, D.C.
In D.C. you're talking about. All right.
In
If you're
D.C.
specific about that.
It's happening
and
in D.C.
I would be, without stats in front of me, I would be accurate in saying it's happening in many major cities in America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
Mac?
Yes.
Yes, it is better throughout the U.S. generally.
All right.
You said overall crime is down across the country. And I was
Correct.
asking you, since you had these statistics available, what about, is that the inner cities don't apply to that? The cities?
Well, no, some cities can be better while others are much worse. But in an average throughout the country, there is less.
So in general, there's less crime in the United States of America.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
But all right, well, I mean, it's a weird.
It goes,
situation.
Mike, it goes back to your feeling thing. If you don't feel safe in your immediate surroundings, it doesn't matter what's going on in Wisconsin. You still don't feel safe.
But
The
I wonder,
overall
Rob,
statistics-
I wonder how much that is influenced by people I talk to and those aforementioned social media reports that
Right.
tend to have an agenda and have
Yeah.
a perspective. But what's the agenda? Is the agenda lock everybody up? Is the agenda give everybody a handgun? What's the agenda?
Who was president when D.C. was the murder capital of the country?
It would be Reagan, wouldn't it?
I think it
Early
would be
80s? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Reagan and maybe
when it becomes a presidential talking point, that's when you're like,
Yeah, that crime is up. We need law and order. Nixon ran on it. Law and order. I get it.
But I remember this being, when I was a kid, if you grew up in the D.C. area, like, oh, we live, the D.C. is the murder capital of the world. You're like, how is D.C. the murder capital of the world? This is the federal government. This is crazy.
I'm somebody who gets so frustrated at the divisiveness, though, because people seem to say, there's one group of people that says defund the police, and then there's another group that says blue lives matter, and they can't come together. It's all gray. You're going to have areas that you need to increase the police presence. You have to, and you're going to
got to get these robots up and running.
And you're
these
going
Centurion robots.
Did you see the one that crawls like a dog?
Yeah, but they have one now that walks.
That's the one I'm talking about. It had the little legs. It looked like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But you also have, and we can all agree, there are police departments that top to bottom have a bunch of bad apples. They're not just individual cops that do this. Sometimes there is an attitude in the whole department. So that's true as well. I'm all for law and order. I really am. But I'm also,
about this?
Everybody's got to be policed, even the police.
I know that we have questions about autonomous cars.
You mean like RoboCop?
I'm for autonomous cars. Let's fix that. Let's make sure it's not running over people or dragging people. Let's get that.
What the hell do autonomous cars have to do with anything?
Oh, he'll come around to something.
They're already up and running.
What does it have to do with crime?
Yes, if we can get the cars up and running, we can use that same technology and throw them on these RoboCop dogs, and they can take a bite out of crime.
No, because as soon as one of the robots, you know what? It's all fine until somebody loses a leg.
That's true. And how long, Oscar, how long before these autonomous cars start carjacking each other?
There you go. What are we going to do then?
Yeah, they'll take over.
And now we've gone out with a whimper being stupid because we realize we can't solve any of these problems anymore.
We can't fix Valentine's Day and we can't fix crime.
We have not been able to successfully fix any problem on the Mike O'Mara
In
show
California,
Yes.
they said, do you know the worst part about these autonomous cars is they can't get tickets because there's nobody in the car.
Put it
That's
on the
worst thing.
Put it under the wiper.
No, legally you can't give someone a ticket for a traffic a moving traffic
that's right. Like if
violation.
they run a
because
stop
nobody's in the
sign
car.
and the car's still moving, but you come up to a stop. No, you can't do it.
Yeah,
There's
but no,
nobody in it.
Mike. Legally, they can't even with a camera. Like if they're speeding,
Yeah.
because there's nobody
All right.
in the car physically
I
driving.
understand. My brain's starting to hurt.
Do
now.
they
You
even
went to
have wipers?
Autonomous cars. Shut up.
I don't think they
we
have a
gotta move
wiper.
on. We got to move on. This ended terribly. I'm really not happy. And I've determined that I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm not bringing another serious subject to the show ever again. Yes, I am. We'll take a break, and we will come back with the round table. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. I don't know what the hell this is. Let's talk Legacy Box. Just like us, you're going to love it. So, do you know where your box of old home movies is? Have you checked that box in a while? Did they teach you that here? You have to make sure that box is out of your damp attic or your hot attic or your damp basement. Listen, you don't want to lose these memories, people. It's a tragic odor when you do that. Every day, your home movies and photos are slowly fading away. They're actually eroding. They're actually disintegrating. But Legacy Box is easy. Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, and pictures, and send it back. You'll get it back on a thumb drive or on the cloud, ready to watch and easy to share. It's so simple, it's like magic. Preserving your family's heritage is the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. Join over 1 million families that have trusted Legacy Box. Don't wait. The risk is too great. We've all used it. You can see Oscar's mom and dad in Bolivia, my parents on their honeymoon, and Rob's parents too. They're just in separate photos, but that's okay. It wasn't Rob's fault. We try to tell him that all the time. Awkward
you,
throat
Mike.
clear. Yes,
was the
you gave me
awkward
a
throat
stage
clear.
direction there. For a limited time only, you can visit legacybox.com/TMOS and save 50%. This sale won't last long. Legacybox.com/TMOS. All right. So, bottom
Look,
line.
the Kraken has given you a stage direction, Mike.
Bottom line on the last discussion. Look, everybody. Crime is something that is personal. Crime is something that is feeling. Crime is something about where you live, who you're dealing with, and anybody that wants to say talking point, tough to say that to a widow, tough to
Yes.
say that to somebody whose family member passes.
Yeah.
You can't do it like that. You got to. I think we all have to be more empathetic, left and right. That's the way.
Every
here.
day is a new day, and
right.
God will find a way.
And Oscar, remember this: let a smile be your handshake. I got to hit.
You
the thing.
bring the sunshine.
Thank you. I try each and every day. Here's something that you may not have known about Bryan Cranston. This is a similar subject we're on here. Do you know that Bryan Cranston was once wanted for murder?
What?
Back
Murder?
in the 70s. Yes. Murder. Murder. Play the thing. Murder.
Murder.
Thank you.
Murder.
Back in the 70s, he and his brother decided to drive across the country on motorcycles. At one point, they ran out of cash in Florida, so they took jobs working in a restaurant to earn some cash. There was a cook at the place named Peter Wong. One of my favorite guitar players is named Corey Wong. I'm a big fan. If you want to see some great music, check him out. And everybody hated this cook, so they used to joke about how they could kill him without anybody finding out. After a few weeks at the restaurant, the Cranston boys had enough money to take off for Maine. Not long after that, Peter Wong turned up dead.
Oh, this is a good plot twist.
So the cops were interviewing people at the. I mean, you read the story too?
No, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
Yeah, we think this is a good twist.
So the cops were interviewing people at the restaurant because of the murder talk, and since they determined Wong had died around the same time as the Cranstons left town, they were officially suspects.
People of interest, Oscar.
There was even an APB out on them, and at that point they were somewhere in the Carolinas, but they never knew about it at the time because the real killer was caught right after the police caught up to them. So that's it. They didn't get arrested, but they were.
You know, I saw. I was very shocked that a 1985 episode of Murder, She Wrote I was watching on Peacock, Bryan Cranston showed up, which just goes to show how long he's been at it. Before
Yeah,
he's
70s, man. Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like he's that. How old is Bryan Cranston? I'd be very curious to find that out. Robert
have the
Plant
answer.
performed Stairway to Heaven last October at a cancer charity event organized by former Duran Duran guitarist Andy Taylor. It was the first time performing it in 16 years. You know, in band circles, weekend bands, garage bands, Stairway to Heaven's always been a joke. It's been a running joke. People do
Yeah.
that. Used to do it with
Cranston
Freebird,
is
too.
67.
67 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's been around. Robert says the experience was cathartic and trial by far, and he felt better at the end than the beginning. And while he knows it's a very important song for him, he's not sure he'll ever perform it again. But he adds, quote, something could change somewhere. Spirit, and heart could come back in the soul. It's a long song. Who can remember all the words? So he doesn't like singing.
You know, it's a better recording than it is a song. I'm not sure that I need to hear it live. I think they captured it in studio. And I
You'd
think
like
that's
it if
what-
Paul sang it.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. You'd like
Why?
it if Paul McCartney sang
You'd like it if Buddy Rich drummed on it.
No, I wouldn't. Thank you.
You see?
Moving
Yes, you
right
would.
along. We're having a good
Good
day
argument.
today. We're having a good day. Another reminder, 10, top 10, time capsule show today. Another reminder to not get your news from social media. There's a post making the rounds that claims Garth Brooks got kicked out of a Toby Keith tribute for being too woke. But there's zero truth to it. It came on a site that claims to post satire, but all they really do is crank out fake news stories to trick people, so please don't repost it. I saw it. I thought it was legit, and it was BS. This is just like the discussion we were having before as far as, you can't believe everything you read.
You got to
that's out there.
verify.
Yeah.
You got to trust, verify, trust no one. In real Toby news, he's got the #1 album in America again across all genres. His 35 biggest hits album from 2008 made it all the way to the top of the Billboard 200 albums chart, knocking One Thing at a Time by Morgan Wallen back down to #2. It's the 5th time one of Toby's albums has topped that list. So there's that.
Gone too soon.
Gone too soon.
Country music is the new top 40. Everybody's listening to it. And, I mean, it's the fact that a country album, despite the tragic stuff that led into it, is number one across all genres, that could never have happened, say, 15 years ago. I think it's great.
Yep, but it's happened multiple times over the past 5 years.
Yeah, true. But I'm saying it wouldn't have happened a long time ago. I think it's great. They serve their audience.
The country's been popular for very, very long now.
I agree. But what I'm saying is that it's still amazing when a country album can cover all the charts. I think it's great.
Cover.
We think you might be having a stroke today. We love you, but I think something's going on your end.
All right, when we wind up, I'll head over to the ER and see what's going on.
Please.
A year from now, Jelly Roll might be half the man he is now because Gary Brecka, who has been referred to as a human biologist and biohacker, is helping him lose weight. Brecka says Jelly Roll weighed in at 494 pounds when they started working together, and 494 pounds. Wow. And he plans to strip 250 pounds off of him in the next 12 to 14 months. Oh, I don't know about that. He says, quote, I'm so excited to be on this journey with him, and he's been very vulnerable about it, too. He said, Gary, this is the first time that I felt like my weight is killing me. And, of course, after the weight loss, he will change his name to Protein Bar. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you. Finally today, we know today is Valentine's Day, which is always February 14th, and it's also Ash Wednesday, a Christian day marking the start of Lent. And that has some people wondering, can you celebrate both? The short answer, no.
Oh, no.
The more nuanced answer is it depends on how serious you are about both traditions. Valentine's Day is a candy, heart, and chocolate-fueled secular celebration, usually involving date nights out and some romping around afterward, and it's intensely commercialized, at least in America. Even traditionally, it's a feast for some Christians to honor St. Valentine. Ash Wednesday moves around, and no one chose it to be on Valentine's Day. It's directly linked to Easter Sunday, which also moves around based on the first full moon after the March equinox. My God, we're an amazing species. Ash Wednesday is a solemn day of fasting and reflection that launches Lent, and it actually is a required day of fasting and abstinence for Catholics. So draw your own conclusion there.
Well, that's why we celebrate a variant in my house.
What's
Ass
that?
Wednesday.
Ass Wednesday. Yes,
Yes.
sir. That's appropriate. That's it. We got to take a break. We will come back, and we got something going on. I'm not sure. Maybe the worst bathroom habits. Maybe we'll do that when we return. You, ladies and gentlemen, are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you ready to shed 26% of your weight? Well, Jelly Roll is. Let's go. DermGlowSkin.com is the ultimate destination for conquering your weight. I was posting today that when I made the meal for Carla yesterday, I normally would have been in and out of that kitchen 20 times, sampling the beef dish that I made, the beef stew, beef bourguignon. It's a French stew, and it's fantastic. I would have been in and out, in and out. I can enjoy what I made for Carla and still lose weight, which I did, which was just amazing to me. Really kind of an epiphany for me to realize that you can enjoy food. And I'm doing it because I went to DermGlow, I got on the medications they offer, and it really works for me. All you do, take a quiz on the website, discover if you qualify. Experienced doctors will prescribe the right medication, and your weight loss solution will be delivered directly to your doorstep. Tired of waiting due to low stocks? DermGlow ensures that you're connected with well-supplied doctors, eliminating any delays. It's a great time to start. From now until March 15th, you can get a $300 discount on your Tirzepatide subscription. That's $300. That's a good deal. Act fast. And now your medicine can even be shipped to Puerto Rico. Muy bueno. I've experienced life-changing results. If I turn sideways, I disappear quicker than free Wi-Fi in a concrete building. Hip technology joke. That's thin, Arthur. Your future awaits you. Visit DermGlowSkin.com. Click the weight loss button and kick off the best journey of your life, because with DermGlow, you can do it. All right, now, Rob's been wanting to talk about these bathroom habits for quite some time now, that, these public restrooms, private, what is the
all
gist of this?
bathrooms, and I think mostly this is going to be, it'll boil down to people you share a bathroom with, but some of them are pretty universal. They surveyed 2,000 people and came up with the 10 worst bathroom habits. I guess we all share bathrooms, yeah? I mean, Oscar, you obviously
one
have
bathroom.
to. Yeah, and
Yes.
Mike, you have a bathroom you share or not?
No. I have my own separate bathroom.
But you've shared in the past,
shared in
right?
the past, right?
I have shared bathrooms with a significant other, my wife included, and I have also I've frequented public restrooms, which I don't like to do.
But just to drop off a resume, right?
I just to drop off some candy.
So Carrie and I share, and so these are things you want to avoid. And also, I'm curious if you've ever done them. At number 10, we'll work up to number 1. Number 10, using someone else's razor.
My wife uses my razor.
I've used my wife's razor.
I have too, especially on if I find a stray hair on my head in the shower, I'll go ahead.
Tell the truth. It's been on your balls.
Yeah, well, it is right now.
Okay.
That's why I don't stand. Number 9, leaving objects in the sink, like a hairbrush or a curling iron.
Oh, no.
No.
That would drive me nuts.
We keep a pretty tidy sink, I think. So none of the, Mike, how about you?
I'm messy, but I'm not dirty. And anything in the bathroom that you leave lying around falls into the dirty category. That's like nasty, and I don't really.
But
do
if
that.
a girl's curling her hair, I know what Rob's talking about because when I lived with other women in my life, they would do that.
Yeah.
And you'd walk in and a curling iron would be in the sink, and I'm like, oh, well, this.
The last thing you want to do is have to prepare a sink just to wash your hands.
Well,
you don't want to have to do that.
And I would deal with the curling iron or the hair flattener that Carla used all the time. These two flat mats on it, and I'd be in. She would inevitably take her shower first. I'd roll in, and the thing is still piping hot. It's dangerous, for Christ's sake. So I don't approve.
It's in the tub, and she's saying, "Take a bath."
You should take a bath, honey.
Spending too much time in the bathroom, like 30 minutes checking Instagram.
I know plenty of parents that hide in the bathroom.
Hide? Yeah.
Yeah. I will not. I'll tell you off air who this is. But I have a friend who has kids. We all have friends that have kids.
Right.
But he says, I will sometimes go to the bathroom when I don't have to go to the bathroom.
To hide.
Just to hide.
I've never hidden in the bathroom. Never.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and that Mike, apologize.
Yeah, that's all right. No, go ahead.
I never have hidden in the bathroom. I've never used it for that tool. I have spent a long time in there, but never for hiding. So,
Mike, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm so done.
Number 7, clogging the toilet. And I assume this means like leaving it clogged.
We have a classic example of a toilet clogger that went fully public.
I like a lot of toilet paper. I want to make sure we're clean.
I required, I think, a professional to come out. I don't remember.
Yes.
That. Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that was 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was the first year anniversary party. I remember.
Yeah, it was around Christmas. I remember.
Yeah,
we
had to get a snake. We had to get a snake out in the toilet.
I think that the toilet paper is more common for clogging a toilet than it is the actual merchandise. Don't you?
If you use too much toilet paper.
Paper is definitely the culprit. No, if you have the merchandise that'll do that you've got to seek medical attention immediately.
ASAP.
Yes.
This was a log jam, I think, and I think the real problem, and this is where it really because of the condition of the individual in question, there were paper towels involved.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't flush a paper towel.
Well,
it doesn't
put
decay.
paper towels in the toilet.
Yeah.
No.
That's a problem.
I've noticed in my personal plumbing issues in this house, more than 2 wads of toilet paper. 2 is your ceiling, and after that, you're looking for trouble.
I'm a multi-flusher, so I avoid that.
Oh, as you go?
You got a water park in your joint.
Well, you really have to go. You have to go multiple flush for courtesy, first of all. And then secondly, if you want to avoid, well, at least I do. I'm a when I didn't have the clear ear,
Me too.
I'm a multi-user. You know?
Yeah. Well, you learn. You live, you learn. Do you leave the seat up?
I do. Yeah.
I don't.
I do. I think I do, yeah.
I do in my own. I should say that when I'm in a public restroom or in someone else's restroom, I put it down. But I pee all around the room.
Lift it up. Yeah.
You don't?
You put it down and then pee on it.
Right.
Yeah. And then I put it up so it dries. This one, I think, this should rank higher than number 5 because this is no good. Forgetting to replace the toilet paper or just not replacing the toilet paper.
My wife is guilty of this. I ran out in my own bathroom, and for whatever reason, I run out so rarely now because one roll lasts so long for me.
Well,
it really
the clear
does.
air, right?
It lasts for so long, and I have taken to going into Carla's bathroom and grabbing one of her rolls, and that's it. And then the day that I ran out and she was out and the house was out was a very, very difficult day. Very difficult day. But I did what I always do. I used my bare hand.
I ain't in the kitchen, Edith.
Yes, exactly.
I ain't in the kitchen, Edith.
Leaving hair in the sink or tub drain.
Oh, man.
Carrie's really bad about it.
How do you
my wife.
stop it?
Yeah. You pick
Well,
it up.
what you do is you pick it up and you put it in the trash.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's courtesy. That's kindness.
Does Shannon shed?
I guess not because I don't see enough of it.
Does she live in a Shannon shed?
Yeah, I don't. When I get in the shower after her, I don't see hairs.
Then
everywhere.
she's got great follicles then.
Yeah.
A lot of hair treatment. Occasionally, they have more hair, obviously, and so there's hair there. I do not shed. I do not shed a lot. My hairs go slowly and steadily into the
and
O'Mara
also
receding headline.
they're short enough that they can go down the sink, down the drain. When I had long hair, I had to pick up after myself.
Go ahead,
Number
Rob.
3, peeing on the seat. We already went through this with
Like the
Oscar.
flat seat that people sit on, or the rim under the flat seat?
No, there's the lid, the seat, and then the toilet. So this is the seat.
The seat.
Oftentimes
If I do, I clean it up. I've had to pee so bad that I go in there and I don't lift the seat up, and then I clean it up.
Again with your hands?
But, of course, when I'm doing it, it's when I'm having one of my moments, one of my spells, and I'm, like, spraying all over the bathroom.
Yeah. I still pee, Mike, with my hands clasped behind my head.
There you go.
So I've had good days
Show off.
and bad. I know.
I pee sitting down. So
Okay. 29% for number 2 have said forgetting to flush.
Still, on occasion, I will. There have been days where I will do my business in the morning, get sidetracked because I don't have anyone else in my bathroom. And then I will come back later in the day and I'm like, oh, bad boy. And, but not often. I find my son does
one
it a
or
lot.
two. You've never forgotten 2.
Oh,
right?
I've forgotten 2. Oh, yes.
Really?
Within the month, I forgot 2.
Oh.
I just forgot. I forgot to I forgot to. Did your son, when he was little, did they forget? Kids forget, I think.
No, Robert loved to flush. He flushed everything.
Oh, he
Batteries,
flushed things
poker
down.
chips,
My kid occasionally will forget, and I have to remind him.
That's
Number 2?
Yes.
And
All right,
number
go ahead.
1. I'm surprised this outranked forgetting to flush. At 30%, leaving toothpaste or makeup stains on the mirror or in the sink.
I do that.
I'm a sloppy brusher.
I'm not
I get
happy- I'm not
toothpaste.
happy
I get
about it. I'm not
toothpaste
happy
on my
about it.
mirror.
I
all
do
the
too.
time.
I'm not
I do
proud.
as well because I've got the Braun thing that sprays sometimes.
Yeah.
If you take it out
So-
of your mouth. And honestly, when you see me doing it, sometimes I'm just going. All right. You got a great flip side for us today?
A really good one.
It better be. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we've got the flip side and all the fun that comes with it. You, ladies and gentlemen, have the distinct honor and privilege of listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, whoa. I talk about it every day, and I just want to go off script here if I can for a second and tell you how much this stuff means to me. I had a moment today where I've got 2 big packets of Liquid IV sugar-free in lemon lime, my favorite flavor, and because, the aforementioned being thoughtful, the big packet was sitting right next to the coffee machine and empty.
Oh,
Because
no.
a certain esthetician decided to pop one in her cup and beat feet. I had a moment of panic, and then I see, there it is on the top shelf, a full bag of Liquid IV sticks, and I was so happy. Liquid IV, not only does it hydrate you, not only does it make you feel better, not only does it have no sugar, no artificial sweeteners, you can feel like a hydrated new you ready to take on the world, but it tastes so darn good. And by the way, with Liquid IV, I don't think they mind me saying this. It's to taste. A lot of people put a little bit of water. A lot of people put a lot of water. There's a
Yeah,
standard
you can
formula
decide.
for it,
Yeah.
but you make it the way you want to make it. And I make it the same way every day, and it's so good and so easy. Add it to your water bottle, shake it up, and go. White peach, green grape, my favorite lemon lime. I love them all, and you will too. Use Liquid IV and be the best you can be. Rehydrate yourself all day long. Grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free in bulk, nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use our code TMOS at checkout. Be a part of the Liquid IV League. Is that theirs or yours?
That's mine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you hate it?
No.
That's nice.
I liked it. I thought it was
very,
okay.
very interesting. Hit the thing, you girls.
Upside down. Roll it.
The flip side.
Mac, Dateline, Tacoma, Washington. Mike, if you had to think of one line from Crocodile Dundee, what would it be?
That's a knife.
Precisely. And that played out in real life in Tacoma, Washington at a convenience store. We have a real life Crocodile Dundee.
Here with his story and the charges the suspect now faces, Erica.
Steve and Jessica, this whole thing was caught on camera. A thief tries pulling out a knife, and the business owner takes out his own machete. Police say it happened at Salina One Market in Tacoma on February 5th.
Crime.
The suspect demanded money from the till, and the business owner refused, calmly scaring the thief off. He says that the suspect came back days later. The owner stopped him again, and bystanders helped call police. They were then able to arrest him. They booked him for robbery and felony harassment. Here's how the owner describes the moment he took action.
Open the till. I want all the money. I said, okay. Why, I don't think so, buddy. And he jumped back there.
He's got a
and fell
2-foot
down.
sword.
I hold this on him. My wife came, and she was scared for him. Please don't touch him, don't hit him. And she got between me and him, and she tried to push me. That gave him a chance, and he ran out.
It's
There
her
it
fault.
is.
Yeah, he never skipped a day.
He blamed his wife.
Yeah,
The
but
guy,
also,
is it me or did the guy didn't look all that scared in the video? The guy
No,
that had
he
the
was-
smaller knife.
I think he was ready to go. That guy, they caught the criminal that day,
Okay.
and he opened the store the next morning. He was fine. That's a knife. Now, we didn't hear too much about NFL players misbehaving in Vegas leading up to the big game, although this did happen. Adele has a residency in Las Vegas,
Yep.
and she was working the crowd before the game about, who's going to the Super Bowl, who are their fans. You know who was in the audience was Jason Kelsey, and he was sort of a loudmouth, and he got called on it with some pre-Super Bowl fun in Las Vegas.
Do we have any Chief fans here tonight? Do we have any 49 fans here tonight? Oh, sorry, Chiefs, you're outnumbered tonight, aren't you? Crikey. But don't worry, this is a big loving show, so you're going to get on. Eagle! Do we have, what did you say? Super Bowl, what she said? You sound drunk and like you're a football fan. Do we have any Chief fans?
Yeah, that's what.
All right,
thank
so
you,
that
Mac.
was Kelsey in the which one?
Kelsey yelled out. Jason Kelsey yelled out, "Eagles!"
I love it.
That's funny. He's funny.
she
He's
said
having a
that
good
is
time.
funny.
You know
That
what?
is funny.
Nobody's more intense than that guy, and he's having his moment afterwards. He played a great season. The Eagles didn't do it, but he's having fun. They should. That's good.
And let us close with this. This is a kid in New Jersey, Mike. This child has a New Jersey accent almost by accident. This poor kid is asking. They're asking the kid to say normal words, and they're coming back with a New Jersey accent. I say, forget about it.
Forget about it.
So my niece has an accent, so I'm going to say words without an accent to show you all. You ready, Gia? Say chocolate.
Chocolate.
Say coffee.
Coffee.
Say water.
Water.
Say talk.
Talk.
Say walk.
Walk.
Say call.
Call.
Say ball.
Fall.
That's
Say
awesome.
drawer.
Draw.
Say chalk.
Talk.
Say oh.
Oh.
Leave my kid alone. Come on, Jay.
That's awesome.
Leave the kid alone.
Leave the kid alone. Coffee. Kids shouldn't be talking about coffee.
Coffee talk. Thank you. That's it. We got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.